Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. All right, we got AZ12, 15% off any online order. Enter promo code SAVE15 to 15% off. And code LCFREECC, free crazy combo with any pizza purchase. All right, joined by my guy Anthony Humbert. We got Matt Rain in here as well. Let's add Matt Rain to the... Hello, Matt Rain. How you doing?
What's going on? I'm doing well, Mike. How are you?
All right. We love hearing that. All right. We got a lot to get to on the show. Arizona beats ASU. And, guys, this was Arizona's now 22-0 on the season. This was not an easy win, but it was a win nonetheless, and we will go from there. Anthony, what were your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, I agree. It kind of went the same script as all the U of A games have. It's kind of close in that first half, and then just, the analogy of a boxer who just gives you body blows for the whole game, and by about 10-minute mark, 12-minute mark in the second half, there's just nothing you can do about it because it's layup after layup after layup. And I think that's what the thing about this team is different from anyone else in the nation, I think. It's because you get those ups and downs with a lot of other teams, but Arizona is just a constant pounding, no Ben 1 in the paint.
Yeah, it's no. What do you got, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's the wear and tear of this team, and I'm really happy with the second half effort
Yes.
compared to what we saw in the first half. The first half, I don't think we actually tried that hard.
No, we
Koa
didn't.
even said in the post-game interview, if you guys heard, that he looked up and saw his family at halftime, and he said, I got to try harder in the second
Right.
half. So, and he did, and he put on a show in that second half.
Yeah. And I think, guys, that was the thing that was a little disappointing in that first half is that, granted ASU sucks. I get that. But it is it is an in-state school. And Arizona was just kind of sleepwalking, it seemed. And honestly, in the second half, I'm pretty glad that Mo Odom got into foul trouble because that guy's a pain in the butt. But let's just kind of talk about some of the things that obviously went well for Arizona. Arizona did not make a lot of threes in this game. But like you guys said, it's the cumulative effect of they're just wearing on you, they're just beating on you, and after a while, man, it's just tough there, Anthony.
Yeah, and even the announcers were talking about how, it would be worrisome if a team in the tournament starts shooting a bunch of threes and making a bunch of threes. And yeah, but we're 22 games in, and that has yet to happen. So it's
Right.
like the old adage of previous success is indicative of future success. So if Arizona's guarding the 3-point line at like the 31%, they're giving up 31% at the
Yeah.
three. It's not, I don't think it's all of a sudden going to change. Like, that's not what they are. They defend the three well, and you aren't going to get more points in the paint than Arizona is. So by Tommy's, admission, if you're going to take, 33s and make 10 of them, well, cool, because we're going to get you in the paint and score 30 more points than you in the paint. So if we're outscoring you by 30 points in the paint and you're only outscoring them by 10 at three, well, that's a 20-point win.
Right.
And
Matt.
by the way, in that second half, Arizona was 4 for 6 from three and got some clutch buckets from two from Koa there, one from Karchenkov, and I think yes, 3-point shooting. We can talk about it until we're blue in the face. I think a lot of it, honestly, this game just comes down to effort. And Arizona was always the better team. I tweeted this at halftime. Like, this was ASU's Super Bowl. It always
Right.
is. Bobby Hurley's fighting for his coaching life. Mo Odom said, hey, man, we're like in your corner. We got you. And they played like it, right? They're scrapping, they're fighting. And we can talk about this later. We just didn't really care. That first half, we turned it up. And I'm glad we got the dub.
Yeah, for sure. And again, Koa Pete, maybe our spacer that we didn't think about there. Man, it looks ugly, but I guess if it goes in, it goes in. All right, everybody's talking about ADO. Here's where I'm at with ADO. The people that are saying this is just who he is now, no, you're wrong. Because he's got a lot bigger track record of this. He's not a 26% three-point shooter. You saw it Campbell. You saw last year he was almost 90, 50, 40. He's better than this. You have to play him. I know that he's terrible right now. I get all that, but you got to play him. You're going to need, at some point, you're going to have some ADO in there. And you don't have any other options. Who's going to be that eighth guy that's going to put some minutes in there for you? You don't have any other options there, Anthony.
And I don't think he's as bad on defense as he was last year. Now, he's not as good on offense as he was last year, but it's one of those things. His shot looks clean. The one that he took in the corner, it looked like it was going. Everyone looks like it's going in. And no matter how long it takes for the regular season, if he's like this, for the rest of the season, but then in the tournament he gets hot, that's all we really care about. I mean, let's be honest, we want some wins, but right now the main thing is to keep guys healthy, split this juggernaut that they're starting to come into in February. And if we can get Delhi going by the postseason, cool. But by the postseason is what really matters. I don't really care how he shoots in the regular season.
Yeah, Matt, I agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, I've always been a big, at least this season, I've been a believer in ADO, and, he's still going through that rough patch. I think for him, it's about continuing not to force the issue. Definitely over the last, 2, 3, 4 games, there have been moments where he forces it, and that's where he gets his turnovers. But if he plays his game, he will get open shots, especially as Braden Burries continues to develop the way he has. But, look, yes, he's not doing well right now, but he'll turn it up. We talked about this before, Mike, but in clutch moments, he comes to play. He really does, and I believe he will.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, the one thing though that was annoying to me in this entire game though, and by the way, we got a 199 super snap here. Bobby Hurley, we need to make fun of him for a minute. What was he doing at the end of the game? Like, that is just the most Bobby Hurley putz thing ever. Like, it's just. Guys, what are your thoughts on Bobby Hurley? I've talked about Bobby Hurley till I'm blue in my face. Koa Pete, by the way, Sean 13, Koa Pete, 3-point assassin, 199 super snap. Very much appreciate you, my friend. What is he doing?
I think the problem with Bobby is he can't control it. I mean, obviously, he just can't control his emotions.
Right.
And it bleeds off into the team. And that's why they were having trouble closing out games. The announcer we're talking about, everybody knows they're having trouble closing out games. And you look at the opposite end, you see how calm Tommy is through the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's why Arizona, forget that, the BYU finish, that was, crazy. But for the most part, the team's even keeled. So at every point in the game, you never really feel, especially this year, that, oh man, we could give up, a run, because Arizona hasn't given up a kill shot all year.
Right.
They gave up one in garbage time to Norfolk State. But that shows the consistency between Tommy Lloyd and somebody erratic like Bobby Hurley, where you get up 10 as an ASU fan and you're like, oh man, well, I'm just waiting for the other team to come back. And with Arizona, you're like, you get up 10 and it's pretty much a wrap. Like, you're pretty much done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Matt.
Bobby is mediocrity personified as a head coach. And again, like he's a great life story. He seemingly is a good dude off the court. I've never believed for 1 second he is a good basketball coach for the long term. And that's obviously been fine for us because he's lost a heck of a lot of games to Arizona over the course of his career. It's unfortunate for ASU because I think they have always been a team and a program that can do a lot more with their basketball program, and it just has not come to fruition, and they've just accepted mediocrity. I will sometimes miss Bobby's hysterics as a student at U of A in some of those earlier years. We loved it. We loved making fun of him. We loved chanting, Bobby, Bobby. And he would get so mad. He'd look over at us. So he's gone after this year, Mike, right? I mean, he's got to be.
Yeah, he's gone. And here's the other thing, too, that I always say. There's a couple things in life. I don't ask for a lot. I'm a mediocre person, so I need mediocre things. But I'm going to say this. I need to either be entertained or you need to be good or something in there. This guy he's not entertaining. He's embarrassing. That's if I'm an ASU fan, you know what it's a little bit like? It's a little bit like watching Mike Stoops back in the day where it's like, dude, stop slobbering on yourself and spitting into the official's face, not even knowing you're doing it. I mean, and then anytime a grown man has to go up to an official and put his hands behind his back because he's afraid that if he's going to attack the official or something, dude, get a grip, man. I mean, Bobby Hurley, in my opinion, needs some form of counseling. And I'm not putting anybody down that's had counseling. A lot of people much better than me have counseling. I'm just saying Bobby Hurley needs some help, period.
Well, and the thing, too, is besides the fact of the antics and all that stuff, it's really odd to me that Bobby was a point guard on, three fantastic Duke teams, right? Your point guards are your cerebral guys. And his offense is awful. They run a set. And if the first option of that set does not generate points, then it looks like it's just a free-for-all. They don't reset. They don't have looks off of different sets. It's like they have one set, you run down. If they don't score off that, it's like they don't know what to do.
Yep.
And it's like every single time. And it's so weird because he seems like he would be one of the smarter guys where you can come up with different ways to score.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about like coaching philosophy and coaching systems, and it's very clear that Tommy is the opposite of that, and he has a very structured system. He knows what he wants to do with the basketball, or what his team wants to do with the basketball. Bobby has never figured it out. He just hasn't. I mean, we have seen this over the years. Remember when they had Remy Martin and they
Shannon
just chuck
Evans
up,
and Cody Justice.
they
Yeah.
chuck up shots, and you know
Yeah.
what? Sometimes it worked for that period in the non-conference where they were number 3 in the country. It worked, but
Right.
the thing is, that doesn't work long term. What works long term is a structured system like Tommy has, and that's why he's one of the best coaches in America.
All right, we got 2 awesome super snaps right here. First, the Great Vegas Falcon. So happy we smoked the Scun Devils in football and basketball this year. This team rocks. ASU sucks. Yes, very well put there. And oh my gosh, a 99.99 super snap. Holy moly. Figurity Riddle 50. BTFD 99.99. I very much appreciate you. Those are very kind gestures. Yeah, back the A, baby. Back it. Okay. So, all right, now let's get back. Yes, thank you very much. All right, let's get back then to a little bit of Braden Burries, guys. He started out the season slow, but man, every single game now against a good team, there is a moment, there's a sequence, there's a 10-minute period where he is just carrying Arizona. You saw that against BYU to start out the game. Anthony, you saw it in the second half. Braden Burries was like, all right, I'm going to get mine, and he's done it.
He got his, and he reminds me so much of Miles Simon in the aspect that he's not the greatest athlete, but he knows angles. He's just a bucket, a straight bucket. And there's guys in college that are going to beat you with athleticism, just out athlete you. And then there's the other guys who just have a nose for scoring. And him, and I'm going to say Ivan too, they know angles so well, and they get points, half of their points just off getting a shoulder into a guy's chest, beating a guy off his hip, that kind of stuff. And that's the most impressive thing with Burries.
The confidence is just really, really there. And obviously we saw it against BYU, being able to play in one of the toughest arenas in the country, coming out and scoring, 27 points. And then tonight when Jaden Bradley, I don't know whether he's sick or he like woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but he's like, guys, I'm not really going to shoot the ball. Yeah. You guys have fun today. And that's fine. Right? I love Jaden, and he's a beast.
We're going to talk about that though.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to finish the point on Burries, even when that happens, and maybe an off chance it happens in the tournament, you can rely on him to score. You can rely on him to drive. I think one of my favorite plays of the game, ASU had scored. He goes right back down the other end and gets a bucket. And like, you can't teach that. That's innate hustle and ability. And we're so lucky to have him on this team.
We are. All right, let's get some reads in here. Yeah. After that 99.99 super snap, I'm like, all right, let's make some money. Yeah. Thanks. That was awesome. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Talk to me. Back it. All right. You have the song? He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. Dogman X, baby. All right. Comfort X HVAC. Tucson's local HVAC team. Now, hey, do you guys both have air conditioning?
I do. Unlike Kobe.
Yeah. All right. Now, I think that you could speak to Comfort X HVAC, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Anthony Humbert. Is this true?
I can.
Yes.
I had them called them out for a tune-up and called them at like 5 o'clock at night. They were in at 8 o'clock the next day, bright and early. Came, checked everything out. Fantastic.
They're good, and they saved our good pal Tony Gimino, who's maybe the most insufferable person in the world, $2,000. That's how good they are. Check them out. Service and maintenance, emergency repairs, installation, replacements, you name it, they've got it. Check it out. Comfort X HVAC. Back the vac. What else we got? Comfort X not Comfort X HVAC. Oh, I almost said Baggins X HVAC. Baggins sandwiches. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Now, Dennis Walsh was there with his friend Kai. But go in there, and you know what I think I might do sometime? I might just go in there and eat cookie dough. Have you guys ever just eaten cookie dough?
It's great.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm I'll stave off the type 2 for a while I eat that cookie dough. But at the same time, though, 12 Arizona locations, locally owned and operated, all food made in-house daily. Every sandwich comes with a chocolate chip cookie. Use code AZ12 for 15% off. Join the VIP Text Club. Text Baggins to 877-797-0444 for for free delivery with code FREE RIDE. Check it out. Boom. All right. What else we got? One more. Talk to me. Casino del Sol. All right. Cody, you put it back. Okay. Casino del Sol. All right, we're going to have our first watch party. February 21st, Arizona at Houston. This is going to be a lot of fun. Everybody, we need you there because, again, we need everybody there. We're going to watch the game. We'll drink some beers. We'll bet some games. And, it'll make me look good. I need all the help in the world making myself look good. So, yes, check it out. Casino del Sol, February 21st, my friend. Okay, February 21st. All right. Now, I got to ask you guys this. Jaden Bradley's obviously awesome. I think he's the best point guard in college basketball. I got to ask you guys this. Does he wait a little too long to turn it on sometimes? Because it feels like he can do whatever he wants. But at the same time, like today, and especially even into the second half, he's getting into the lane, and he's got like a 6-foot shot, and he's trying to throw it up to Koa, and it gets stolen. Does he take a little too long at times, guys? What say you?
I think he does. I think he's generally a pass first point guard. His scoring isn't number one on his mind, and sometimes that plays to the detriment of the team. Today, also, it looked like he was. I think Shear said it. He looked like he was a little sped up, just out of rhythm. He gave up. I remember the first half, he had a wide open three, gave it up, and then got a charge called on him. And then there was another point where he got into the lane, nice little midi, and then tried to pass it to Koa, and it got stolen. It just seemed like something was a little bit off. But then you look, and 5 minutes left in the game, he hit four straight middies. Right. So I think it's part because he's passive on the offensive end. He's a pass first point guard. And then it takes a little bit when you're passive like that to start getting back going.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. I mean, yeah, for sure today he was off. I mean, there's no question about it. And again, maybe he was sick. Maybe something else was going on. Who knows? Maybe it was just an off day. But when the moment arises when you need him, he steps up, and look no further than
always
just on Monday. I mean, the guy scored 25 points or whatever it was against BYU, and it was him and Burries who won us that game. I mean, if they did not score, Jaden did not score as many points as he did, we would not have won. And so, look, when it comes time to play Houston and Texas Tech and Kansas, he will be there. And look, maybe he has an off game, but that's why you have guys like Braden Burries and maybe ADO once he gets back into a rhythm. So I'm not too concerned after one game. It's really not a big deal in my mind.
Yeah, he's gonna get there. He's gonna get there. All right, Mo Krivas. We've had a lot of Mo Krivas haters in the chat. Now, I got to say this. Dennis Walsh, La Jolla, you've done a very good job. Every time he mentions Mo Krivas, he says, my bad to Krivas. There are people that want me to apologize for saying he moves like a glacier. No, I will not apologize for saying that because glaciers can still be good at basketball. I haven't seen many, but he is good at basketball. But, man, he was awesome again. And this was a good game going against the Lasagna Jop, or whatever his name is, Lasagna Jop, or whatever his name is. That guy is, by the way, if Krivas isn't here, I absolutely plan on taking Jop from ASU and saying, come here, young lad. I'll be a Father Flanagan for him. But, yeah, Krivas was a beast, man. He was handing out gloves left and right there.
Yeah. I think a lot of the things Krivas does is not on the score sheet. He takes up so much space, and I don't think you really notice it until you see him up close. Really, how he affects shots and how he affects rebounding. There's just so many things that he does well that don't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, Matt.
100%. Yeah, I mean, listen. First of all, on Jop, I don't know if you guys were listening to the game, but the story of him, being able to come to ASU in the first place, I mean, that's pretty incredible. I mean, the guy got to campus, the day before classes started. So props to him and best of luck to him in his basketball career.
Well, they let anybody in, so I mean.
Well, right. That is true. Yeah. But good on him. But yeah, listen, I think Krivas, as we've talked about all season, the growth that he has had from last season to this season is phenomenal. He has looked so much more confident. And you know what I like is that even when he misses a jump hook, and he had a couple misses early on today, which I think he should have made, he comes right back down the floor and he tries again and he goes up with it. There's no hesitation. He just does it. And I think potentially maybe even last year or less mature Krivas or a big would not have done that. So big ups to him.
Yeah.
He had a great game.
And the man of girth, the girthquake that is Tobe Awaka. You know what Tobe Awaka reminds me of a little bit? When he got, besides a girthquake, when Tobe Awaka comes into the game, he's kind of like, he's a run stopper in of itself. If a guy misses a free throw, Tobe's probably going to get the offensive rebound and get fouled, or he's going to outwork you on something. I don't know that I've ever seen, and again, I am an idiot for this. I tried lumping him in last year with Trey Townsend. One of the all-time worst takes in the world. I should be tarred and feathered for this take. I'm amazed I haven't been. Keep your feathers in your tar if you haven't done it. But he's awesome, though, guys. I've never seen a player that plays quite like him here.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that goes unnoticed is his second jump is fantastic. He gets up and then gets up again, and that's, I want to say 50% of the rebounds come off of not the initial, but, you know, a ball getting tapped around and then him snatching it. And once he gets it in his hands, there's probably not a player in the nation who's going to be able to take it away. So he just keeps on bringing a guy like that off the bench just speaks to how just deep this team is and how much, you know, forget what everybody says. They're different. You know, we watched Michigan last night. We watched, you know, even Duke and teams like that. I don't get the narrative coming back to where they put these narratives on Arizona and they don't put them on other teams. Like there's guys talking about, I listen to a lot of college basketball podcasts, and it's like, oh, Houston's going to get so much better because they have 2 freshmen. Well, Arizona's got 4 freshmen that they're playing in the lineup. And then, oh, I don't know if Arizona can play without being able to shoot the 3. They shoot the 3 at like a 38% clip. Yeah, and it's it's always something. They always come up with something that Arizona. Oh, I don't know how Arizona's front line is gonna play, and they took on Florida.
That's a great point. Caleb Williams, a $10 super snap. This Anthony Humbert fella knows how to articulate. Excellent commentary. Very much appreciate you, Caleb. Do you know this man?
I do know this man.
Okay, yeah. Well, thanks for $10. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna say this though about the national narrative. I have watched. Oh, back the $9.99 super snap BTFD. Very much appreciate you. I have this national narrative, it is funny about how everybody tries to like pick these little nits at Arizona. You can watch Michigan for 5 seconds and you've come away with a couple things. Elliot Cadeau sucks. We never hear that Elliot Cadeau sucks. Or if he doesn't suck, he's certainly not Jaden Bradley. And the whole thing is that Yaxelberg is very, very good, obviously. But at the same time, he's not a small forward. So that limits some of what he can do when he's shooting 6 threes a game and one of them's going in. So they're good, but anybody that watched that Nebraska ball game has to know that Nebraska ball is most likely the second best team in the country and the only true test for Arizona, Matt Rain. This is true.
No, but that's okay, Mike. You can keep
Governor's slapping me around.
You can keep riding the Nebraska. Listen, they're very good. We talked about it last time.
Too many white guys, though.
Right, too many. But look, again, they're a very good team. I think they played a great game against Michigan. But you can look at any team in the country and find a flaw or pick apart. You know, the teams. You know, honestly, like the recent UConn teams are the ones where it's like, man, they really just like did not have any flaws come March, and they just rolled their way through the tournament. But it will you just have to see. And what I want to see in these next. You know, this next month where we have this gauntlet, right? Playing at Kansas and playing Houston and playing Texas Tech and BYU again is the continued growth and progression, right? You're not going to win every game. We talked about this, but continue to grow, continue to build towards March, get tested, lose, whatever it is. You got to be ready for March. And I think this Arizona team is on track to do that.
And, you know, we've seen it so many times. Arizona fans have seen it, whether you're a young buck in the fields like Matt Rain or you're a grizzled veteran like me and Anthony. You've seen in the NCAA tournament, it comes down to it where, at the end of the day, you're going to have a game where nobody's making threes. We've always seen it. I can rehash a million examples before Matt Rain was even alive of games where, you know. But this team, though, and Tommy said, I wanted to build a team that was built for March. built for March, not against, like these, playing out of conference games against St. Louis or Taiwanese State or any of those schools. The one thing about it, though, is that they are going to beat you up in the paint, and that's something that travels. That's the best way I can put it. This team will travel even if their shot isn't falling, because we've seen many games where the shot isn't falling.
Yeah, can I just say one thing about today's game too, is that it always just bugged the absolute crap out of me when we would lose to ASU by like 1 on the road. I mean, that happened multiple times under Miller. Obviously, they hit the half-court shot against us at home under Tommy, but that was just such a bummer. And it's like, yeah, we have a really good team, and those teams ended up going to the Elite Eight under Miller and probably should have gone to the Final Four. But I'm really glad there was not the letdown today. And if we're going to lose, we're going to go out swinging to a really good team. And I think it shows that this is not a team, like, for example, I don't think this team loses to Clemson or Clemson-like team in the Sweet 16. I don't think this team, loses or even goes to overtime against a TCU in that Ben Matherin year. Like, this is a team built for March, and they have all the tools to win. And like, I would be floored, absolutely floored if this team doesn't make it to the Elite Eight. A lot of things can happen between now and then, but it's set up for success.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at, Anthony. Once a team gets to the Final Four, or not the Final Four, excuse me, the Elite Eight, because you're playing another top 5 team at that point. I'm not going to ever call an Elite Eight season a failure, but this team has to get past the Sweet 16. You're going to be playing a 4 seed, which is going to be probably some team that's about 15 to 20. Arizona's got to be able to win. Arizona's got to be able to win that game. Now, you get to the Elite Eight, you're playing a 2 seed, and, anything can happen. I get all that. But I do want to get to a Final Four, obviously, AZ Boogle. That's not what we're saying. But the Elite Eight, to me, is the bare minimum for this team, period.
I agree. And I know you're not a huge analytic guy, but the trapezoid of excellence is a very, very good thing to look at, and it judges pace and possession. And that's a lot, because if you have more possessions than a team, more than likely you're going to win. And the more possessions you have than a team, then the pace, that's when that comes into account. So where Arizona is right now, where they just take so many possessions because they limit turnovers, they get offensive and defensive rebounds, and they go to the free throw line. Those are things that stay in March. And that's where you don't have a team like Arizona who's going to be susceptible to that early round knockout like, past Arizona teams. Whereas you have a lot of teams that are like, Michigan, Purdue, off Florida, off the top of my head. If things aren't going right for them, they could be knocked out early because they don't value the possessions and they don't have the pace that can control games as well as Arizona does.
All right, now we need to talk. I'm getting beat up in the comments here. I don't know that it's fair, but we're going to talk about this. I see you. All right, but first, let's get some reads in here. Back the reads. Take this, kids. Piece of crap. Okay, what else? What else? Hey, Cody, are you there? Thanks. Cody, stop breastfeeding. Come on. Okay, Copal. All right, Tucson's contemporary. He's got a kid. I was just telling him to, put the here it is. All right, Copal. Yummy in the tummy. Book your next large party or corporate event with Copal. It is very, very good. Large party packages available. We also cater any events. Mexican food delivered nationwide at mymexicanmenu.com. Use code AZ12 for 10% off your order. It is very, very good. And guess what? It'll make me feel better if you go there and you order to say, Mike Luke, get me a free elote, or I'm going to say Mike Luke to get a free elote rib. Yummy. It's a good family environment. Good to take the friends, maybe a lady. A lot of different things in there. It is fun. Check it out. Copal. Boom. 88 crime. Now, if you see somebody plotting against the future governor of Arizona, and you're saying to yourself, man, I don't really want to have to deal with this, but this has to be addressed. Call 88 crime. They'll take care of it for you. They've solved thousands and thousands of cases. Many cases. But check it out. 88 crime, 882-7463. It's anonymous. Pima County Attorney's Office. Yes, of course, Matt. Matt, you passed the bar, right?
I did.
Duh. Yeah, duh. All right, now Foster Plumbing. Guys, how's your front pipes working?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Pretty good.
We talked about Wells Fargo doesn't have enough front pipes.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah, I mean, Well, no, it's actually Desert Financial
Desert
Credit
Financial,
Union.
whatever.
Yeah, I
it's
still
called.
think of it as Wells
The
Fargo
name,
as well.
the name doesn't matter. Lack of front
Yeah.
pipes. That's what they should change it to.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So an elote rib is something covered in corn. It's like a corn rib. All right. But yeah, 24/7 service. Now, guys, when was the last time you clogged the toilet?
Well, Arizona hasn't lost, and that usually only happens after Arizona loses. So
Exactly.
we're waiting on it.
Matt, is the plumbing working up there? Yeah, I was going to say if you had
No, the plumbing is working where I am for now.
All right. But if it wasn't working, we would call Foster Plumbing. Foster Plumbing is very, very good. And residential and commercial, licensed, bonded, and insured, sewer line, gas, water, 24/7 service. Because, again, front pipes don't just freeze up from 8 to 5. They freeze up in the evening. They freeze up in the morning. And, again, your plumbing is always needed as well. Front pipe arena. Yeah, check it out. Foster Plumbing, quality work at a fair price. All right, I'm getting beat up by people on Twitter and in the comments that I've been very clear about something. I don't like Koa Pete shooting threes. Koa Pete gave me the middle finger and said, screw you today. I still don't like him shooting threes, but guys, am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong in the sense of that's not the number one option. The thing today is both of those threes were wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't look the greatest, but like you said, it's going in. So if he hits a couple more of those in a couple more games, that's just going to free up everything else. Like if he's hitting threes, I mean, there's nothing really he can do to guard the dude. So
Right.
I don't like it. It doesn't look the best, but obviously Tommy's got confidence in him to take it. And, TIT, trusting Tommy, more than we do.
And I'm totally fine with it, guys. I mean, the reason why is because I think it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And now, listen, it makes a defense which already has to deal with all these different options. Or you got to defend Krevis, you got to defend Burries off the dribble, you don't know where Jane's going. And if Koa starts knocking down threes, and even the three that Mo took, I'm totally okay with that because if it goes in, fantastic. The defense is totally rattled. It's great for us. Now, if it doesn't, it's all good, right? You move on, you move to the next possession. But a couple threes a game, I think it totally works, and it throws a team off.
All right, now, Vegas Falcon, the great Vegas Falcon, makes a very interesting point right here, guys. If I were to tell you this before the season, Koa now has a better three-point percentage than ADO.
Well, but how many threes has Koa taken? I mean, it's
too many. Yes,
it's easy to get a higher percentage, but thank you, Vegas, for the analysis there. But
Michelle,
listen, it's great.
Sorry.
I was just going to say it's fantastic. I mean, listen, I think for his NBA game, obviously, it's going to be a big part of it. And what we've seen this year, right? Like Tobe has made a three, Mo has made a three, Koa has made a three, and the narrative that this team can't shoot the three is I think completely bought.
Yeah, I mean, again, they make enough. Let's see here, Papa Shot. I'm not going to dump on ADO anymore. He looks like he has lost. Did you see Tommy yelling at him? Tommy never yells. I mean, I don't. Again, with ADO, it's this.
That was defensive. That was defensive.
I'm going to just say this. At the end of the day, ADO is really struggling. There's not breaking any news right now. But I still believe at some point you're going to need him. I've seen him make too many shots. I've seen him make, and again, then this idea too, well, just don't play him anymore and put in Evan or whatever. I mean, come on. He's going to have to play. And you got to hope that because if he's playing well, it just adds a totally different dynamic to the team. I mean, you got to look at it. Braden struggled for the first month of the season. We've seen, like I said, we've seen ADO. We've seen him play well. You've got to. I'm still sticking with him. Period. Point blank. Yeah. Now, Dennis Walsh La Jolla says there are so few players off the bench that can win games. ADO has. That's where I'm at, man. People have really short memories when it comes to ADO. ADO says, take Oregon, baby, last year. Yeah. You didn't hate me then.
And we're 22-0. Like,
right.
Why would you change anything? Like,
right.
Just keep rolling. That would be the stupidest thing to all of a sudden, cut his minutes down to 2 minutes a game and put else. No, they're 22-0. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Right. And, he's defending and not giving up like Townsend. That's the other thing, too. The one thing that if somebody's struggling, the one thing I can't put up with is a lack of effort. Trey last year, there were so many times, and I'm sure he's a great kid, blah, blah, blah. But there were so many times when, like, there was ASU last year, I think, where the guy gets the rebound, Trey's already at, like, 3-point line, and then Trey's just kind of sauntering back, and the dude just runs right past him and dunks it. He didn't play hard. That is what bothered me about him. ADO plays hard. He's just not, the shot just ain't falling. That's it.
Mistakes. Making mistakes is a lot different than a lack of effort. As a coach, you will deal with mistakes. As a coach, you will not put up with effort. And those are two completely different things. And ADO puts in the effort. Yeah, he makes some mistakes, but the effort's always there.
Right. Well, Matt, like when you run for governor and you have your staff under you, if you have an intern that isn't doing his job well, but he's trying really hard, and he's like, Governor, I want to impress you. And then the other guy's like, I don't care about impressing him. Screw that guy. I'm going to do a crappy job. You are going to side with the guy that is at least trying. This is true, Matt Rain.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think from Tommy's perspective, he is believed in ADO. He brought him in for a reason. And also, Mike, I think importantly to note, he could have easily said to him in the offseason, sorry, we're going to move on from you. But he believed in him. He put him on the training program, got in the gym, and you're gonna stick with your guy, right? I mean, it's the same thing. Obviously, ADO's on the level of Caleb Love, but Tommy was sticking with Caleb Love no matter what, and it proved out to be a really good idea and a good decision. So look, it is what it is at this point. We'll keep moving, we'll keep rolling, and Anthony, as you said, like we're 22-0. What is there to complain about? Honestly?
So let's talk about what we got coming up here. Then, I mean, Arizona's, like I said, Arizona right now, and like you guys said, is 22-0 on the season. That is very good. Last time I checked, you got Oklahoma State, and then you got a gauntlet coming up here. So I think you'd be what 10 or what are we 9-0 now? 9-0. What are we 9-0 or 10-0?
Mm-hmm. I think 9-0.
Okay, 9-0. So let's assume that we beat the Cowboys, or what are they? Yeah, the Oklahoma City, Oklahoma State, the Golden Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Let's assume we beat the Golden Cowboys. Then you're 10-0, and at that point, then you're like, that's where you got a little bit of margin for error. You go 5-3 in those last 8 games, 15-3 in the Big 12 is going to win you the conference. That's where I'm at with this. We got a margin for error now, fellas. We deserve it.
I can like almost predict the future here. This is what's going to happen. Arizona will play those games. We'll get 2 to 3 losses. And after each loss, there's going to be some kind of meltdown, whether from a fan or someone in the Arizona, fan base community. Right. And I really just want to say now, it's okay. If we lose at Kansas and Darren Peterson scores like 40 points, or we lose it's okay. Like, these are the lumps of the season. And honestly, I kind of would rather not be undefeated going into the tournament, because the pressure that creates is never good, in my opinion. We saw that with Kentucky the year they lost the Final Four to Wisconsin. I think the pressure got to them. They were the better team than Wisconsin. They lost. It is something that you have to be maybe concerned about, but it'll be okay. Like 2-3 losses. Let's just keep improving, and we'll go from there.
Did you guys see Philly B?
Mm-hmm. The game winner.
Moly, my guy, Philly
game
B.
winner.
And on top of that, he's averaging, have you seen his stats this year? He's averaging like 11, 9, and 5 or something. He's a facilitator. Is this guy going to play
it was a derby game against Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, it's a derby game. Is this guy going to play in the MNBA? Probably not. Okay.
No.
I just want
Europe. But can I say one thing about Tommy's I want to say discards? That's a little too mean to them, but like, these guys have gone on to do really great stuff at the colleges they've been at. I mean, you look at a guy like Adama Ball, who was an all-conference guy at Santa Clara. The guys, and even Conrad Martinez right now at High Point, probably the best team in their league right now. So they do great stuff.
I can easily make a case that the players that have left Arizona would form a top 25 team. Here's who you got. Here's your starting lineup. You would have Boswell. We assume sober Boswell. You would have sober Boswell. You would have, let's see here. You would have Morales. KJ. You'd have Morauskas. You'd have Henry, and you'd have Philly B.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty damn good. That team would beat the snot out of ASU.
That's a top 25 team.
Yeah, it's a top 25 team. Yes. Okay. Now Vegas Falcon 17, the great Vegas Falcon. I do not want $20 super snap. I do not want to hear Tommy needs to be fired from Javier Prim and these other young bucks. I will say this with these Gen Zers, and this is why I like Matt Rain so much. We need Matt Rain is a harbinger to a smarter era, the millennials. And that I see so many of them, they're like, oh, after a game, this team just isn't what we thought it was going to be, this or that. Matt, can you tar and feather everybody in your generation? Is this possible? Thank you.
Nah, listen, what I'll say is that it is easy to overreact. And I think when you've been an Arizona fan for as long as the three of us have, you know what it's like to go through these seasons and to go through the heartbreak. And it gives you perspective, I think, as you go through the season. That like the losses don't sting as much. In March when we lose, it's like you take it in stride. I think for the younger generation, maybe they don't have as much perspective. I think even the kids who go to U of A who grew up not in Tucson, like I grew up in Tucson going to U of A games since I was like 4 years old. So, like that to me is different. I think that's the difference, Mike. I don't know if you believe the same or Anthony, but
No, I mean, I agree. Like I said, I tell the story all the time. I almost died when Arizona played Santa Clara. I was a wee little lad, and I was and Arizona was like on a 20. That's when I started following them, and I was on they were on like a 20-game winning streak, and going into that Santa Clara game, and they lost, and I just assumed, hey, we're not supposed to ever lose, and I ended up choking on a chicken bone, and my dad had to perform CPR and all that other crap. But then I was just excited for next year, and we went to the Final Four. I'm just gonna say this: people enjoy the ride. There are so many people out there that
they condense it down to the tournament.
Yeah,
That's
that just can't be happy.
It's like
let's deal with, you know what it's like. It's it's kind of like, let's just stick in the moment. We'll deal with March. We're 22-0. We have the best team in the country. Let's enjoy it. Period. Anthony Humbert.
Think of it. We started in October, November, and we get to enjoy basketball this whole time. We're almost in February now. Look at the other side who we just beat, Tempe Normal.
Right.
They don't ever get to enjoy basketball ever. Like they enjoyed it a 9-2 start, and now basketball season's over for them. Like there is literally no reason for them to watch. They're not going to make the tournament. They're not going to go to the NIT. They might be invited to the CBI. Like big deal. But you've just got to enjoy that, and you got to filter that down to the games too. Like there's people who crash out within the first 5 minutes of the game, and like it's a long game. I think the number one thing for the rest of this season, for me, stay healthy.
Well,
stay healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, too, when you get all these people and they're like, oh, we did break BYU, by the way. This is awesome. You get all these people, too, that everything is the best or the worst, or it's, if we had Carter, we would have been the best team in school history. Now we don't. We'll come to find out that Tommy knows what he's doing, and this is no slight towards Carter. I would take Yvonne on this team. I think Yvonne is just a better fit all the way around. I think Yvonne, maybe he's not the MNBA prospect, but Yvonne is a total stud. That's the best way I could put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's awesome. He is a better fit, and we talked about that last time. Who would you rather have? But yeah, he was amazing again today, and I love the passion he plays with. I mean, he's a guy, and this is what I love too. Is like he's a freshman. He's not from this country. He has no reason to be so passionate. I was comparing to Bellis, who didn't really care about being here, and he went off and played in Europe. And it's great. I appreciated his time here. He was an amazing player. But Yvonne actually really cares. And when in that first half, when Koa was not playing super hard, Jaden was out of it, the one guy who actually showed passion in the first half was Yvonne. So much credit to him.
Now, Arubriel Braza, by the way, I keep thinking that is the first baseman for the Diamondbacks back in the day. But that is
Arubriel Braza.
Yeah. But he says, what is the Green Dolphin? Allow me to tell you guys about the Green Dolphin. Everybody looks back at Dick Tomey and says, man, no, the great guy. And again, I'm not saying he was. But, man, this place under Dick Tomey, every guy got into a lot of trouble, it seems like. And the Green Dolphin was the favorite place for shootouts. Every single weekend there would be a shootout, there like a felony assault, whatever the case may be, and it was almost always the U of A football players. It was
hi-fi before hi-fi.
It was it was hi-fi. No, you know what it was? It was hi-fi with people that were actually about the business, not saying hold me back, hold me back. No. There was none of that. It was hi-fi. It was real people. Yeah, real people. Yeah. So again, yes, it was. Green Dolphin was crazy. I actually live right by where it used to be. So yeah, Green Dolphin. Okay, all right. Let's get a couple reads in here. Back the reads. Green Dolphin, baby. Green Valley Decorative Rock meet Green Dolphin. Oh, the bum steer was another one. Yeah, off of stone. Yeah. Okay, now. All right. Green Valley Decorative Rock. Welcome to the Rock.
Here, I got one for you.
Imagine listening to this.
Let's see if this one works.
All right, let's see it. No, you got to do it though. Come on. Don't. Yeah. Oh, that's good, but don't let us down. Start. Come on, we got to do it. All right. Yeah. Let's hear you. What do you got there? What do you got, man?
Let me just say, can you imagine being an audio listener? If you're listening right now to this after this has been recorded, and you're listening in your car, let's say you're with your wife and kids and whatnot, and you just hear Mike Luke go.
No, you know how many people tell me that like their wife's like, is that the guy that just does this? But all right, Matt Rain. We are. Yeah, it's Matt. It's like it sounds like a bar mitzvah reading. I agree with that. We're gonna have Arizona Israel come on and do that sometime. Okay, but now Matt Rain. Come on, let's just hear it. Come on, Matt. Focus. Let's talking more static, like La Jolla says. All right, a little bit of a swirling static. I like it. That'll go. All right, yeah. Now, there's a lot of idiots out there that believe that Green Valley Decorative Rock is only in Green Valley. They're morons. You need to rid these people from your lives. It's also in Tucson. 50-plus locally sourced landscaping materials serving residents and contractors. East of Benson, Sierra Vista, west of Marana, south of Nogales, north to Oracle. Check it out. Welcome to the Rock. They'll do a lot of really good stuff. They do a lot of good stuff. Let's hear your cappuccino machine impressions. No, I'm not going to do that. I've already done that. Now, I got a bone to pick here. Land the freaking man with the master plan. This woman is not real. She is not real. Lan Allen had us fooled for the longest time that this was a real woman. I got to give Dennis Walsh a lot of credit. He called this AI from day one. This woman is AI. Sheer came up with a video.
Kobe.
What's that?
Poor Kobe.
Yeah, I know. We are going to try to hover with Kobe. But Lan is in here right now. But we will not endorse Lan's honesty with this AI woman right here. But we will endorse his honesty with the championship package. As everybody knows, that was my nickname in high school, the championship package. So this has a soft spot in my heart. 1997, I've had the championship package inserted, and it was good. It was so good I fell asleep. Only offers necessary treatment. And again, you go in there, they're not going to take your glasses off and put them in the side and then poke you in the eye and say, oh, you got an eye infection too. They're not going to do any of that stuff. Dental implants at affordable rates. Check it out. Aris Dental, TucsonTeeth.com. All right, check it out. We like Lan the man with a freaking plan. All right, Andre Veras. I will endorse Anthony Humbert. I will endorse the future governor, then president of the United States, Mr. Matt Rain. I will never endorse Andre Veras, ever, under any circumstances. But I will highly recommend Andre Veras. Let's let him talk you through your old 401k, learn more about your new retirement plan, trying to balance retirement saving with kids' college funds. Check it out. Investing on your own but not sure it's enough. Let's review your accounts, optimize your tax strategy, and give you confidence. Call Andre at 520-325-3456 and reference the AZ12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. Okay, check it out. All right, now, how do we rate inbounds plays today? Well, we didn't really have to worry about it. That is one thing, though, about this team that does worry me. In a close game, I hate our inbounds plays because there are no plays. Guys, why are we dealing with this?
Okay, I don't think it's accurate to say there are no plays. I think there is a very...
Jaden, push your guy out of the way and go get the ball. That's not a play.
No, Tommy, well, let's clarify, Mike. You mean inbounds plays as in like when they're pressing, or inbounds plays?
Yes, when we're being pressed at the end of a game, yes. I'm tired of not getting the ball in, or getting the ball in the corner where everybody wants the ball to go, or just saying, hey, Jaden, just push your guy out of the way and go get the ball. Why is this a problem?
Well, some of it's on Jaden. I think that he has to be a lot smarter about where he is positionally and being open and getting to the ball. I think another part of it is that we do not have the ball handlers like a lot of, I think, high level teams against the press probably do. I don't think like Jaden and Braden are fantastic dribblers of basketball, but usually you'll have like a smaller guard who's able to beat the press. And then I think, yeah, some of it's scheme and some of it is Tommy has to improve on the inbound scheme. But I don't know, Anthony, what have you seen?
I've watched it more, try to keep an eye on it more when I'm watching other games, and nobody really has good inbound plays. Like even when like it's like they have a set, and if that set doesn't get something coming to the basket, it's the lob out to midcourt. And it's almost like Braden got a steal off of it. So I don't know if it's something just at the college level where they're going for one set. If it doesn't work, get them in, get the defense in rotation, get the ball out up top, and try to get a mismatch that way. But I have not seen in the college basketball that I've watched and really kind of noticed it. There's not really a lot of good inbound plays when you're getting it underneath the basket. So
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's hard to beat the press at the end of the game. Like usually what will happen is that it's not necessarily scheme, as Anthony was talking about. It is genuinely a guy who can beat the press off the dribble and
Mhm.
pass the ball effectively. It's not usually going to be all right. You have this like perfect play set up, and some of it's that. But look, I think Arizona will be fine. I think Tommy, knowing him, I'm sure will continue to practice this and continue to refine what these out of bounds situations look like. And honestly, I think BYU the end of the game was potentially the best case scenario because it gave Tommy tape, it gave him film to review with the guys to say, all right. This is how we messed up. This is how we let them back in the game, and this is how we're not going to be able to. We're not going to let that happen ever again.
All right, yes. Now, Damian Moon, great name, by the way. Damian Moon is a fantastic name. Holy moly, that's a great name. Awesome name. 199 Super Snap. Not having 3-point game will bite Tommy in the big dance. Dennis Walsh comes back and he said, thank you very much, by the way. Dennis Walsh comes back and says, I don't understand we need to shoot threes because what if a team goes 20 or 40? Well, then you lose. Duh. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Our renowned pilot, I think, is very, very, very right about that.
real quick, somebody just posted the Kansas BYU score,
BYU.
45-24.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Arizona,
go ahead.
is that still going on? No team has won a game after playing Arizona. Like, I
Really?
think that's still a thing.
Really?
After Arizona beats you, I think teams are like 0-15, 0-16, something like that.
Well, dude, because we break teams. It's like in football. I mean,
It's like
you
in
know what's-
football.
You know what's crazy? The national narrative about Arizona football, because I mean it's a national program. We know that. But the national narrative about Arizona football breaking teams is so I think entrenched in the college football mindset that a lot of people don't even think about it when it comes to basketball because I mean they're like, man, that's one of those things like when you're like, man, I just need to stay away from that. I mean, that's not good. But
Well, it evolved because remember we started just breaking quarterbacks, and then
Right.
we evolved to complete teams that we break.
yeah,
So
I mean, you know what's funny? Look at Iowa State, those putzes. I told them after that game that they would never be the same after they played Arizona, and then of course they beat us by 800 points. And I said, no, idiots, look at the tweet. I said after you play us, you'll never be the same. And then they won like one game the rest of the year, and their coach
won the battle, lost the war.
Take that, suckers. Okay, now let's look around the conference here a little bit. Then, I think it's going to come down to a 2-horse race. This is going to be. I think this is going to be Arizona and Houston. Those are the two teams. Everybody else, Iowa State's solid, but whatever. Also, at the end of the day, Kansas, I still think is going to lose too many. They've already. How many losses does Kansas have in conference?
2, I
They
believe.
lost, yeah, 2. They lost to UCF, and they
Oh.
lost to Tech.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So they got 2. All right, but Arizona, Houston, those are the big dogs. What do you guys say?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't really think like Arizona and Houston are here. Arizona's here, Houston's here, and then there's a drop off. Texas Tech today lost to UCF in a game that I thought that UCF actually controlled the entire game for. I mean, this was not something where it was like it was a little back and forth, but Tech trailed the entire time. I told people before the UCF game, like that is a very sneaky good team. They showed it when they played us. But anyway, Tech is a level below. I like what UCF's doing. I think Kansas is good at home. Obviously, they're amazing. Darren Peterson, the big question of whether he even wants to be out there. But man, Houston is a machine. They just are. And like that will be the big test for us, right? I mean, going to when you guys go to Casino del Sol for the watch party, I mean that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be nuts.
Right.
And I'm really excited for that Houston game.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
think
What do
it
you got
comes
there?
down to the schedule too, because Arizona plays Houston at Houston. They don't get them in McHale. So I don't remember what game Houston has where they play at, it might be they play at Iowa State or at Kansas and they don't get them back at home. So I think it's going to be if Arizona can win all of their home games, and maybe that's, the one that they drop. If that's the only one that they can drop, I think they have a chance at winning the conference during the regular season. But it's going to come down to whatever odd team has
Yeah.
the one away and the one at home. I think is how it's going to come down.
Yep.
Let me
Now,
ask a question.
Go ahead.
Let me ask a question, Mike, and for actually both of you guys. What is the one game that you think is the most important down the stretch here? And then you could choose importance on a number of different categories or why it's the most important game for Arizona. But tell me which one.
We got Houston at home, right?
No,
Away.
Houston's away.
Oh, it's on the way. All right. Well, that game's the biggest game. If you win that game, you're going to win the conference. You lose that game, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you only get them once. At that point, you're tied. Then Houston would have the tiebreaker as well, even though we don't get them back. That game to me is the biggest game of the season. I expect Arizona to drop. Go ahead.
I think it's Texas Tech at home because Houston already has a loss and Arizona doesn't have a loss. So you figure if like I said, if Houston goes to Kansas or goes to Iowa State and takes a loss there, because I don't think one win or I don't think one loss is going to win the conference. I don't. I think it's going to be 2 or 3 losses. So if Arizona beats Texas Tech at home, you give yourself that margin of error to lose to Houston at Houston, because that's a tough. Hardly
It
anybody's
is.
going to go beat Houston at Houston. So if you can hold serve Texas Tech, I think is the toughest game. You win Texas Tech at home. I think that's the most important game.
Yeah, and I'll say this: winning at Houston, I think, is the most important game. I totally hear you on Tech. I mean, that's very very important. Winning at Houston is not so much important in terms of the Big 12, which it is, but in terms of getting the monkey off the back. I mean, I think even going back to that Matherin team when Houston basically just smacked us in the mouth, and Tommy said, "We're not letting that happen again in the Big 12 tournament or in the NCAA tournament." But Tommy's not beating Houston. He's not beating Kelvin Sampson, and there's been this like Kelvin Sampson. I think has been more favorable, has adorned Arizona
He
with
really
so much
has.
praise. I mean, it's like getting on. I don't know. and he's
Stop
just
being
gratuitous.
nice to us. You're trying to
Exactly.
soften us up.
Right. And obviously Tommy's done the same, but it's like every 5 seconds, Kelvin Sampson's like, oh my God, this Arizona team is like so amazing. That's great. Thank you, Kevin. But we still not beating you. So
Yeah.
I think in order to feel the most confident, I think in this team moving in March, if you win at Houston on the road, we can beat every single team in America. Even if we don't win, we can still beat every single team. But I think that's a big mental hurdle that would be incredible to watch happen.
Right. Because if you
And I
beat
think
Houston,
the thing about Houston that's I've always, admired them from afar is they don't want a basketball game. They want a fight. We're going to have a fight. And if a basketball game breaks out, cool, we'll do that too. But they want a fight, not a basketball game. And that's the thing that this is the only Arizona team that's built for it since Tommy's had it.
Yeah, so that is very very good. All right, now let's talk a little bit about let's wrap this up. But we got a couple more reads. What do we got? All right, RJ's Frozen Cactus, red hot sports and ice cold beer. Huge parking lot you could park a jet in. This thing is amazing. It is huge. It is monstrous. It is girthy, all of that. And the food inside speaks to the parking lot. 100 craft beers at $2 deals, pizza, wings, tacos, burgers, and more. No bad seats in the house. Red hot sports and ice cold craft beer. Check it out. Again, RJ's Frozen Cactus, very, very good. And again, the food is great, the drink is good, and it is a great place to just go and kind of hang out with your buddies. Check it out, RJ's Frozen Cactus. All right, not just football school. Now, Anthony, are you done having kids?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, then you're not going to want to buy one of these shirts
No, I'm
because
gonna have to keep it off.
these shirts raise the fertility levels like 10,000% because of how popular they are. They get the women excited. They get the guys ready to go. Not just a football school, the AZ12 podcast. You want to have this shirt. You want to be part of this shirt. Matt, you don't have kids yet, but when you start looking at it, this shirt, it's all you need. You don't need anything else.
That's good to know.
I don't even think you need to go through the process. I think you just need the shirt and you just like hit a button and it's
by
like,
osmosis.
Yeah, no,
Right.
it is. It is. The shirt knows what you want. Yes. So, again, not just a football school. Check it out. AZ12 podcast. Boom. Check it out. All right. Now. All right. So, also, everybody, go to Little Caesars. 15% off. Any online order. Use code SAVE15. Code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with a pizza purchase. All right, guys. So, let's talk about it. Arizona beats ASU. It wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but it is what it is, and Arizona smacked the crap out of them in the second half, so I feel good about that.
Yep. And at the end of the day, like we said, you're undefeated still. You beat the normals up north. You swept them. You have 3 wins over them in the past, 2 months? So
Right.
That's always great. But like I said, the number one thing, stay healthy. I just want them to stay healthy. I think they stay healthy and they're good enough to win the games they're supposed to. They're going to drop 1 or 2, but stay healthy, and then we'll see what happens in March.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, and you think about it, I was thinking about this game as almost these 2 paths in the road, right? This fork in the road. And I thought about 13 years ago when we played Cal. We were 21-0. We're the number 1 team in the country, and Brandon Ashley gets hurt. And I still believe, as all Arizona fans probably do, that if he did not get hurt, we maybe would have won a national championship that year. Well, today, no one got hurt. We're 22-0. We are the best team in the country. We beat ASU. It's a great day to be an Arizona Wildcat, Mike, Luke. We're back in the A over here.
We're back in the A. Everybody out there, go get Little Caesars. Make me look good. Very, very much appreciate that. All right, everybody, I got to go to my friend's baby shower. No, it's not my baby shower, so I got to go get ready, and I'll get all dolled up and everything. So, Matt Rain, you are the man. Anthony Humbert, you are the man. Oh, let's read the super snaps. Super snaps. Super snaps. Come on, Cody. Cody. Talk to me. Maybe not. All right. Yeah. Sean, not Sean. 199. Koa 3-point assassin Pete. Boom. Vegas Falcon, $20. So happy we smoked the Sun Devils and Scum Devils in football and basketball this year. This team rocks. ASU sucks. Damn right. Vegas Falcon, the great Vegas Falcon. Okay. Oh, 99.99 from Figurity Riddle 50. Very much appreciated. BTFD, thank you, my friend. Thank you. That was very generous. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. All right. Now, that Anthony Humbert fella knows how to articulate. Excellent commentary. Very good work, Caleb Williams. I agree with this. All right. Yeah, what else we got? Back the A, $9.99. BTFD, baby. All right. It's a jet in the park. It's a jet in there. Holy moly. I wonder if that's like Harry Lex or somebody. It's a jet. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Vegas Falcon, $20. Cohen now has a better 3-point percentage than ADO. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right, what else? $20 again. I do not want to hear Tommy needs to be fired from Javier Prim and the other Young Bucks. Young Bucks, knock it off. Yes, I agree with you. $20, very much appreciated. Now, $9.99, James Greer. Is it just me or did Jaden pass up shots he should have taken? Seems like they ended up as turnovers. Yes, he did. And that is very, very annoying. Again, Jaden's the best point guard in the country, but sometimes you just got to get yours. And, he didn't really do that. So I would like to see him be more aggressive. I think you guys agree with that. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, $199. All right, Damian Moon, put that one back up there. All right, not having 3-point game will bite Tommy in the big dance. Yep. Well, I don't know. I disagree, but okay. Yeah, all right. All right, everybody. Yep. But Damien, I very much appreciate you, though. All right, guys, we will be back with you on Monday. Oh, and by the way, we're going to have an emergency. If Nebraska ball beats Illinois tomorrow, we are going to have an emergency post-game show for 15 minutes. Yes. So, again, it will be a lot of fun. So, again, all right, on that note, for the Governor Matt Rain, for our favorite baseball coach in Tucson, Anthony Humbert, I am merely Mike Luke. Talk to you guys on Monday, TTFN. I got to run. Woohoo!